Welcome back to LFC Transfer Hub, your ultimate home for all things Liverpool. Today we've got huge transfer drama and breaking news.
Fabrizio Romano gives Here We Go to Man United transfer that is now sealed and signed. Liverpool rue Salah contract as aging Van Dijk fails to handle, complete **T. Liverpool way up Man United hijack as agent of horrendous Red Star is 99% sure of Real Madrid deal. Now let's hear the details. Fabrizio Romano gives Here We Go to Man United transfer that is now sealed and signed. Man United will sign Colombian youngster Cristian Orozco from Fortaleza next summer as the deal is now sealed and signed, according to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. The Red Devils spent a lot of money over the summer with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos putting aside over £200 million to bring in 5 new players. Mateus Cunha, Brian Bumo, Diego Leon, Sen Lamens and Benjamin Sesko all arrived at Old Trafford in the transfer market as Ruben Amorim improved their squad. Man United have had some success in the past by bringing young players from abroad through their academy for a small fee, with Alejandro Garnacho, who was sold to Chelsea for £40 million in the summer, a good example. And now the latest talent they are looking to bring to Old Trafford is 17-year-old Orozco from Colombian side Fortaleza, with Romano now claiming that the deal is here we go done. Romano wrote on X, Manchester United have now sealed and signed deal to bring in 17-year-old Colombian talent Cristian Orozco, $1 million transfer fee from Fortaleza in deal valid from summer 2026. #MUFC lawyers approved all the contracts, deal coordinated by lead scout Antonaccio. Here we go. Orozco has shown at youth level for the Colombia under-17s, but the future Man United player is yet to make his professional debut for Fortaleza. Man United boss Amorim is coming under increasing pressure to turn around results at Old Trafford, with the Red Devils currently 14th in the Premier League. The Portuguese head coach could only manage a 15th-placed finish last term and is averaging barely over a point per game in the Premier League since joining Man United. And Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher thinks Man United need to end the Amorim disaster as quickly as possible to get their season on track. As Duncan's Ferguson just said, you don't want to see people lose the jobs, but this has to end as quickly as possible. Liverpool rue Salah contract as aging Van Dijk fails to handle, complete **T. Liverpool are counting the cost of handing Mohamed Salah his bumper new contract, and Virgil van Dijk is too old to neutralize the complete **T alongside him. Also, has the £400 million spend made the Reds weaker? And on Manchester United, who exactly is Omar Barada? The Salah mistake and an aging Van Dijk. So after my previous email, I did as usual check the comments to read how people respond to various emails. And I spotted some people who made the assumption that I scour Twitter for football conversations. I see them sometimes, but I don't use Twitter all that much. When I say social media football fans, I'm referring to the ones on YouTube. It's why I specifically named those United and Arsenal channels. Also, I do send emails in fairly regularly, but I do have periods where I don't even bother to read the site at all, usually on international breaks. But I do enjoy talking about football and sharing my opinions, however mental people in comments might think they are. On a different topic, I was one of the few people who said Salah probably wouldn't perform this season because he's just signed a new contract. There's actually studies which show that the best season a player has is when they're in the final year of a contract, and the worst one they have is the one directly after signing a new contract. I personally think it was a mistake to give it to him and would have offered 1 year only. When players are younger, that one average/poor year after signing is less important because they'll bounce back, but when you are 33 and have a bad year, that next one probably isn't a bounce back year. I also think Van Dijk is showing his age now. He loses his man way more often now, and he doesn't have the pace anymore to make up for mistakes. The only player I don't understand is Konate. He's in a contract year wanting to go to Madrid and he's complete shit every week. He'll be lucky to get a contract at United if he keeps up this current form. Liverpool's major overhaul. A lot of the narrative around Liverpool this season has understandably revolved around their record spending. But one comment that keeps being repeated isn't strictly accurate. It was in the mailbox yesterday, where an Arsenal fan wrote that Liverpool won the league and then added £400 million of upgrades. It's also on the front page of F365, where they are described as champions injected with a record investment of over £400 million. That might be technically true, but it doesn't tell the whole story. The defense, at right back, Liverpool have lost Trent Alexander-Arnold. They've spent £35 million, yes, but it's a replacement rather than an upgrade, and arguably a downgrade. At left back, Milos Kerkez should be a long-term solution to what was a weak spot last season, but at 21 he'll need time to adapt. At centre back, they've actually sold cover, leaving them thinner than last season. The attack, this is often cited as a strengthened area, but in reality Liverpool haven't added Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak to an already stacked attack. They've lost Jota, Diaz, and Nunez and replaced them. It's not additional depth. It's a reshuffle and should be an improvement in the long term, but you'll notice that 2 players and less than 3 players, and that is a squad depth concern. Midfield, the one area that should have been an immediate upgrade is midfield, with Florian Wirtz brought in for creativity, goals, and line-breaking passes. But so far, that hasn't materialized. If you're being generous, you'd say he needs more time to settle into a new league. So yes, Liverpool have spent big. But framing it as £400 million of upgrades ignores the reality. This is a squad in transition. It's been a major overhaul, with key losses as well as new arrivals. That kind of churn doesn't instantly translate into improvement. For all the talk of record investment, this Liverpool side is still finding its feet, and this may not be the season of instant success that many were predicting. Liverpool way up Man United hijack as agent of horrendous Red Star is 99% sure of Real Madrid deal. Liverpool could reportedly make a move to sign long-term Man United target Jared Branthwaite, with Ibrahima Konate looking likely to join Real Madrid. The Reds started the season very well with 5 wins from their first 5 Premier League fixtures as they raced clear at the top of the table. But 2 defeats in 4 days to Crystal Palace in the Premier League and Galatasaray in the Champions League have turned the mood slightly, with previous poor displays now becoming an issue for some. Their midfield and defense have come under scrutiny, with the performances of Konate one concern amongst a lot of supporters and pundits. Liverpool are 1 injury away from disaster, with Giovanni Leone potentially out for the full season and the Reds failing to get a deal for Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Guéhi over the line on deadline day. With Guéhi's contract up at the end of the season, Liverpool could face increased competition for his signature in the January transfer window, and Everton's Branthwaite, who has been the subject of bids from Man United in the past, is now an option. Branthwaite will certainly be on the radar at Liverpool. I'd be very surprised if he was to move in January. Everton won't want to let him go, and he's had this injury which he needs to recover from. Clubs like Liverpool will be keeping an eye on that, I'm sure, seeing how well he recovers and if he gets back to his best quickly, because it's another long layoff for him. Plus, he's a left-sided centre-back, and that's the position Van Dijk plays in at the moment, so bringing him in would do little to solve their problems. But like I say, that interest will be there as a long-term option, and maybe he could come in and develop his game a bit more by learning from Van Dijk. I just don't see him as a replacement for Konate, and it would be a shock to see him leave Everton now. I expect they'll keep an eye on how he progresses over the rest of the season, and then if they think there's a position for him, that might be when they make a move. Carragher slammed for making noise in Liverpool overreaction by mean-spirited pundit. Former Crystal Palace chairman Simon Jordan has criticised Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher for making noise on a television show after the Reds lost 1-0 to Galatasaray on Tuesday night. Liverpool lost their second match in 4 days on Tuesday night, as a Victor Osimhen penalty was enough to see Arne Slot's side lose in a hostile Istanbul atmosphere. The Reds also lost a few days before in the closing stages of their Premier League clash with Crystal Palace, as Eddie Nketiah popped up at the back post to grab all 3 points for Oliver Glasner's side. That result ended Liverpool's perfect start to the new season that had seen them win their first 5 Premier League fixtures of the campaign, with title rivals Arsenal closing the gap at the top to 2 points. Many of their summer arrivals are yet to perform to high levels, with Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez and Florian Wirtz coming in for some stick so far. Carragher argued that Wirtz, who is yet to provide a goal or assist since moving from Bayer Leverkusen in the summer, should be dropped, and described their first 9 games in all competitions as very concerning despite being top of the Premier League. The Liverpool legend said on CBS Sports, "The last 2 games are not concerning. I think Liverpool's full 9 games this season have been very concerning. I was worried about Liverpool very early on, and I expressed that to the manager, Arne Slot, on the side of the pitch against Bournemouth in the first league game, where Liverpool end up winning 4-2. I don't feel like I'm watching a top team. Liverpool aren't playing football at the moment, they're playing basketball, it's just end to end, and I don't think top teams play like that. But Jordan has hit out at Carragher for attempting to create some sort of reaction with Liverpool having a good start to the season despite some of their displays.